You know, folks, the left is not mad at Trump today. They're mad at Joe Biden for pardoning his son. I've seen too many clips today from the left and the right where they're just throwing a fit about how this is so unjust that Hunter Biden is going to get a free pass. And this is probably more than anything about giving Joe Biden a free pass involving all the allocations. As a matter of fact, this lack of ability to prosecute Hunter Biden with this pardon for the past all the way up to the future, the end of the year. I didn't know you could give a pardon up till next month. I didn't think you could do a futuristic pardon like that. I don't know. That's a weird one. But truth be known, this is shitty. It stinks. No doubt about it. But it's probably going to help our J6 prisoners get out easier when they start crying foul, when Trump starts letting out these J6 prisoners. They're not going to have any ground to speak about anything because facts be known, Hunter Biden should be in jail 12 times over because he's a real criminal. But Joe Biden selfishly pardoned him. Being, if it was my son, I don't think I would have pardoned him, to be honest, but I wouldn't be sending my son, a crackhead, overseas to deal with other world leaders and be the bagman for my current situation. I guess he feels he owes it to him or something, but it's a pretty sick situation. What this has done is this has shown that the pardon started right when Hunter Biden got hooked up in Ukraine. And the pardon ends the end of this fiscal year, meaning he could, in theory, go out and kill somebody between now and Christmas and be just fine because he's already pardoned in advance. I just think that's the strangest thing I've ever heard. And it even sounds a little unconstitutional. That may get fought back, who knows. But the Congress has got enough to do with their talking, their bloviate, and their we're going to get them next time crap. They actually had 4 years to get Biden, and they didn't want to do it. They didn't think they could do it, considering the whole three-lettered agencies, the alphabet agencies, were on Team Biden. But they built a pretty good case against him for him to pardon his son. And in turn, he's going to end up pardoning himself. He's going to pardon his brother. He's going to pardon his wife, his sister, his nieces and nephews. Biden is going to have to do a blanket pardon for those people. And then he's going to have Mayorkas and Anthony Blinken and all these generals and Christopher Wray. They're all going to be looking for a pardon too because they now see what's coming for them. The Trump team is mobilizing to get ready to throw some serious indictments at people. I'm talking serious lock them up, lock them down. Uh-oh, battery's running low. Got to pause. Back in business. I got a couple great clips here for you today, folks. Just some of the conversation that's been going on since we found out this morning that Hunter Biden is getting a pardon, a blanket immunity type pardon. It's a messed up deal at any rate, but there may be some positive things that come out of this. Like I said, no telling how this is going to affect anybody that has been wrongly locked up under the last 4 years. Maybe able to get them all off under the clause that Hunter Biden can pardon these people, or get these people. If Joe Biden can pardon his son, Trump should be able to, on day one, pardon these J6 prisoners. Just my own opinion, folks. But we'll go ahead and get into some of these clips I got for you here. Nothing but the good stuff. Check it out.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law. No one is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Except for Hunter.
No one is above the law.
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 Oh, son of a bitch.
Said I'd bring you something to lighten it up, folks. It has definitely been one hell of a day just listening to all this information going on. Everybody's talking about Hunter Biden today. I'm thinking about Cash Patel. I think he should get confirmed. Hopefully he will. He was actually one of my picks for Trump's, or one of my preferred picks for one of Trump's top cabinet positions, FBI director, leader of the NSA, one of those top agencies where he can actually do the best, do some really good. Hopefully busting up the Department of Justice and the FBI, because like Tom Fenton says, they're rotten to the core. Now, I know everybody remembers this.
Convincing that we should be.
Let's see if I can turn the volume up. This made me think that Biden has not only got to pardon his son, he's going to have to pardon himself. And he's going to have to pardon his entire family and so many entities. He's probably going to have to blanket pardon the entire Democrat Party for the last 4 years. Surprised he didn't try to put it out there like that.
Providing for loan guarantees. And I went over, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I'm not going to, we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting $1 billion. I said, you're not getting $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch. Got fired. And they put him.
Now that right there sounds like a felony to me. I don't know how his presidential immunity weighs into that, because he was a vice president at the time. But definitely Biden has shot his mouth off. The bank record transactions, all the witnesses. The fact that the Congress knows about all the corruption of the Biden crime family. I don't see how they're going to be able to get away with this. This blanket pardon for the whole family, what's going to be coming down the pike. I don't see how it flies. Going to be a strange one, folks. We're just kind of watching. This has never been done before in history. Now, even The View weighed in today on Joe Biden. They didn't like him being called a liar. Go figure. Of course, old Whoopi's going to defend Hunter Biden. She's probably a crackhead herself.
Two things, because I respect it as a parent. I understand why he would do it, but I wonder to understand why lie about it for so long.
I'd stop calling it a lie.
Okay, why repeatedly say you're not going to and you do? And secondarily, for the part of this country, half of it that doesn't support Biden, doesn't know him personally, doesn't get to have phone calls, and they're just looking at a system that seems like it only benefits the people who are in power.
I'm going to say,
what precedent does that set?
Well, here's what it sets. It's a precedent for all of us to open our eyes, because we've elected someone who is in a similar situation, who didn't have a drug problem, who knew what he was doing, who clearly stood and said, I can do this. And he did it. So I think, for many, many reasons, this is very different than any other situation that we have ever dealt with.
Well, she didn't even know how to answer that question. She tried to spin it off and try to compare narratives with Trump family. Come on, man. I can't believe it. These women on The View, just mean and nasty as can be. Actually, I think this is an older episode, but why lie about anything if you know you're going to eventually have to tell the truth about it? That just does not make any sense. I almost feel bad for Queen Jean-Pierre. Every day she gets asked, is Biden going to pardon his son? And every day she tells him no. Well, today wasn't that day. Yeah, it's been a hell of a day just for the fallout alone behind Cash Patel as pick, and channels like CNN just blowing up behind Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, and just the whole unfairness of the whole situation. Even the Democrats think this stinks.
In July of 2023, just after that plea deal fell through, this is what you said. I want to watch.
Do you think a pardon for his son would be a mistake? Yes, and I don't think there's any chance that President Biden is going to do that, unlike his predecessor, who pardoned all of his friends and anyone who had any access to him. And I think you see that in this case, where he kept on, and Merrick Garland kept on, a Trump-appointed U.S. attorney to investigate the president's son. If there is not an indication of the independence of the Department of Justice beyond that, I don't know what we could look for.
What does that feel like, watching yourself back then, reassuring people that Biden was not going to issue a pardon for his son?
You see what she did there, don't you? She took his own clip, his own comments, played it back to him and says, how does it feel like eating your own words today?
Yeah, and I think that if that plea agreement and that plea deal had gone through, there would be no pardon. That was a satisfactory outcome.
It already fallen
that
through.
Only was.
That is a poor ass excuse. If we would have got away with sneaking the plea deal through, we wouldn't have had this problem. You gotta be kidding me. Yeah, they're not happy today. Here's another good one, folks. I love Scott Jennings. I've been watching a little bit of CNN lately just because they've got a conservative over there named Scott Jennings, and occasionally he lets them have it. So Scott Jennings shuts down a CNN panelist trying to blame Trump for Biden's pardoning Hunter. This is an epic mic drop moment of the day. All right, here we go. We're going to scroll down here. And I haven't seen this one, so we're going to watch it together.
For him and to protect his son.
There are Democrats saying they're not happy that President Biden made this decision.
Yeah, well, tough. The president went ahead and did what he thought was right for him and to protect his son.
Joe Biden is leaving office making the strongest possible case for Donald Trump that anybody could possibly make it, and that's that our government and our justice system is of, by, and for the elites and nobody else. He ran to banish Trumpism from our political system in this country, and he has left it politically and now institutionally the strongest possible political force in this country. It is a complete and utter failure by the head of the Democratic Party and the President of the United States. Never again do I want to hear, oh, Donald Trump's a liar. You can't believe anything he says. Donald Trump will abuse his power. Donald Trump will only use the system to benefit himself and his family and so on and so forth. Never again. I have one question for Karen, and that is, why did he need an 11-year blanket pardon going back to 2014 when Joe Biden was the vice president? We are sitting on the biggest cover-up of who knows what crimes, and Joe Biden amazingly knows exactly, roughly, when it started. He knows just about when it all started. He's leaving office in complete and total disgrace. He is a liar, and there is no other way to spin this today. This has nothing to do with Trump and everything to do with the character of Joe Biden.
You see that woman in the Pink's reaction? She was choking up, trying not to smile and trying to just play it off. She knows it's the truth. You can see it in her face.
Republicans have been, for years now, trying to attack the president himself, go after his family. And when you have someone who literally ran their campaign on retribution, on the idea of, I will be your retribution, and getting back at his enemies, I would imagine, obviously I haven't spoken to the president about this, but I would imagine the president took a look at this and said, I want to make sure this is ironclad, that there is nothing that can be done.
Yeah, it's called a pardon, lady. You protect your criminal family members in hope that you won't be caught up in the prosecution of the criminality that y'all were all a part of.
To circumvent what I'm going to do to protect my son and to try to take the target off of his back, once and for all. So that's my reading of it. But again, I think that the hypocrisy here, it is astounding. I mean, Donald Trump has said and done things, said things and done other things. And again, he's a convicted felon himself.
He said things and done things and said other things, and he's a convicted felon. No. That convicted felon thing's falling off, lady. Those charges are being dropped. Do your homework.
He has used his power to benefit his friends, his wealthy allies. In this instance,
all right, shoot some facts at us, lady. Prove it.
We're talking about a man who decided to take care of his son after years of unrelenting attacks. I don't blame him.
You guys can spend all day long trying to spin this, that this is Donald Trump's fault, that this is somehow caused by Donald Trump. Oh, he's appointing the wrong people. Oh, he did it. Oh, this is the worst possible thing a president could possibly do to his party and to the country, to sit for a year and say, I will not do this. I will not do this. The rule of law is sacred. We have to respect the justice system. Juries, we have to respect juries. We have to respect the guardrails and the norms of our democracy. These people are liars. Inflation is transitory. Afghanistan, it's a success. The border is secure. Robert Hur is a liar. The videos are cheap fakes. Biden has a cold. He'll never drop out. Oh, I'll never pardon Hunter. It's all a lie. It is all a grift. Every American, except the most partisan, brain-rotted people, are going to be outraged by this today. He is going to leave off. You think 39% job approval is bad? Just you wait. Just you wait. He's disgraced today. Outrageous. Are you fine with the lying? Are you fine with him sitting before the election all year and lying to the American people? Are you fine with the lying about it?
Good question.
I don't think that he was lying. I think he made a decision after the fact and decided this was the right thing for him and for his family. Period. Full stop. Donald Trump decided that it was okay to pardon
Joe Biden, Karine Jean-Pierre. How many minutes of tape do we have of both of these people telling the American people this will not happen? It's I mean, we could play it all morning. It's a lie, and it's a lie to benefit his own family, and that's all that it is. And everybody who went on TV and said, oh, look how he's the modern George Washington. He's drained every ounce of credibility from every surrogate. If Karine Jean-Pierre had an ounce of self-respect, she'd get off the plane in Africa today, where they're going, so he can avoid the press and resign. He's drained all of her credibility, and everybody else who's defended this, it's draining for them forever.
Oh, Scott Jennings is awesome, folks. He has been tearing them up. I've been watching him off and on for the last about month over on CNN. He's the only conservative voice they got over there, and he lets them have it. Speaking of Karine Jean-Pierre, says Karine Jean-Pierre says Biden always believes to be truthful to the American people after a reporter asked her why Biden lied not to pardon her. Why he lied about pardoning his son. You know, she's only said this about 100 times. He's not going to pardon his son. He's not doing it. He's not doing it. He's not doing it. And then I read on the Gateway Pundit earlier that staffers knew that Biden was going to pardon his son months ago. He was just lying to the public. Here we go. Last video clip of the day, folks. Hopefully everybody enjoyed. Hit the like, subscribe, and the share thing if you so choose.
You have said repeatedly yourself since the election, the president has said for months, no pardon was coming. I wanted to ask you, could those statements now be seen as lies from the American people? Is there really a credibility issue here given now this announcement?
First of all, one of the things that the president always believes is to be truthful to the American people. That is something that he always truly believes. And if you see the end of his, I assume that you've read his statement, and you look at the end of that statement, and he actually says that in the first line in the last paragraph, and respects the thinking and how the American people will actually see this in his decision making. And I would encourage everyone to read in full the president's statement. I think he lays out his thought process. He lays out how he came to this decision. He came to this decision this weekend. So let's be very clear about that. He says it himself. It's in his voice. He said he came to this decision this weekend. And he said he wrestled with this.
I don't believe that. But in theory, maybe it was the whole Kash Patel coming on board as the FBI director scared him shitless. I don't know. I think he's just covering for his own ass. Going to have to cover for his entire family and half of his staff that has been lying to the American people and covering for him and his whole crime syndicate perverted family. Like, subscribe, and share. Devoted Patriots. Hopefully everybody enjoyed. See you about this time tomorrow. Over and out.